Hello and welcome back to Top 5 Scary Mike Ghouls and Goblins. I'm Taylor, your casual crypt keeper, and you better believe I've got something for you today. Do you get claustrophobic easy? Then maybe this isn't going to be the video for you because we are headed deep beneath the crust today. We're taking a spelunk together as we explore the top 5 scary unexplained caves holding mysterious secrets. You let me know down below if one of these caves is calling out to your sense of adventure, or if you couldn't get paid enough to spelunk with the stalactites. Let's dive on in. Hope you brought a lamp. Number 5. Doong Cave, Vietnam. Coming up first today, we are going to be talking about the Doong Cave up in Vietnam. Now, this isn't just any old cave. This is one of the biggest caves in the world. It's a gargantuan underworld, an almost hidden world of wonder. Over 5 kilometers long, with sections that reach up to 200 meters tall and 150 meters wide, meaning there's enough space that theoretically you could fly a jet through the cave. Not that you would, because you probably wouldn't get very far, and I don't know what the benefits would be, but you have the possibility to do so if you wish. It must certainly be a feeling, a cave so big. The cave is almost its own ecosystem, separate from the rest of the world, with its own jungle and a localized weather system due to the misty clouds that cover it up above. Getting there isn't easy either. To get into the cave, explorers would need to cross a 10-kilometer trail from Trong Son Highway. The cave also becomes inaccessible when it gets rainy, as the rising water levels will prevent entrance or exit, so do be mindful of that. Echoes of your footsteps reverberating through the colossal chambers as if awakening spirits that lurk in the shadows. Stalactites hanging like fangs all over the roof of the cave, and stalagmites littering the floor, making it seem like you're in the mouth of a giant creature. The cave is pitch dark, with the cave only being illuminated by streams of sunlight that pierce through the cracks in the ceiling, giving way to eerie imagination as you see the shadows upon the rock formations. As you get deeper, a sense of claustrophobia takes hold. Narrow passages squeeze an unwary traveler, threatening to trap them in a labyrinth from which escape seems almost impossible. Is that enough of a recommendation for you to go check out that cave? I don't know, definitely sounds like a trip I'd be willing to take. But if you want to take a journey without leaving your chair, you're already in the perfect place to be, as Top 5 Scary has something scary from all across the world. If it freaks you out, we've got a video or two on it, I guarantee it. So hit subscribe, make sure you ring that little bell as well so you don't miss a single video that we put out, but do that at the end of this video because I got 4 more scary caves to tell you all about first, okay? Number 4, Mount Erebus's ice caves. Coming up next in at the number 4 spot today, we are going to be taking a trip all the way out to the frozen wilderness of Antarctica as we venture towards Mount Erebus's ice cave. This cave is a frozen maze that lies within the heart of a volcano, and you might be scratching your head there thinking, what, an icy volcano? What? Don't worry, I'm confused too. Now, we don't have a scientist on hand to explain how that works, so you're just gonna have to trust me that it does, okay? The ice and the fire, it shouldn't work, but it does. They're colliding here. Mount Erebus is the most active volcano in Antarctica, featuring a pond of lava that comes in at 1700 degrees Fahrenheit. But in the cave, it's absolutely freezing, intensively so. In this fusion of hot and cold temperatures, there are stunning ice caves carved out around the snow-colored volcano. Now, if you were like a James Bond bad guy or any other kind of supervillain, what have you, I have to say this would be an amazing place to have your secret lair, build an evil little cave here. Now, it goes without saying this cave is not a welcoming place. It's a treacherous maze where one wrong turn or slip leads to an early icy grave. Jagged crevices and hidden chasms lie waiting for you to step the wrong way and pull you into a frigid embrace forever. With all that in mind, is it surprising that it's said to be haunted? Many who have entered the cave claim that they feel something otherworldly, although this could just be freezing temperatures getting to their brain. Some say they feel like they are touched by invisible forces while exploring the frigid halls. Now, of course, besides the supernatural, there are some researchers who suspect that there could be unknown species deep within the cave that haven't been discovered yet. And who's to say what that could be? Maybe that's where the Yeti's been hiding all these years, or heck, maybe that's where the aliens have been. We've been looking up in the stars this entire time when really they've just been caves and volcanoes in Antarctica. Who is to say? Number 3, the Bell Witch Cave. Coming up in the number 3 spot today is going to be the infamous Bell Witch Cave. We've talked a lot about the Bell Witch before on the channel, and don't be too surprised if we talk about her again. The Bell Witch Cave lies in the heart of Adams, Tennessee, home to a malevolent spirit with a spine-chilling reputation. Now, if we got all the way into the Bell Witch story, we'd be talking about that for the rest of the video. We've definitely talked about the Bell Witch before, so check some of that out. But the slightly short version is that the Bell Witch was an evil spirit who tormented a local family of farmers the bells, which is where she gets the name. They settled near this cave unaware of the horrors that were preying upon them. She tormented them with all manner of poltergeist-like behavior. John Bell, the father of the family, found a strange animal on the farmstead, a mutant hybrid that resembled a grotesque dog and a rabbit. The Bell children would complain to their father that they would hear strange sounds that sounded like vermin gnawing at things in their bedrooms, and they would wake up covered in red scratches all over their bodies. At all hours of the day, the family would hear faint whispering and singing that sounded like an old woman singing church hymns. For 3 long years, the Bell family were attacked by the witch until 1820, when John Bell grew extremely ill and descended in health and passing. At his funeral, the mourners complained they could all hear the laughing of an old woman mocking and singing the late John Bell. So locals say that the Bell Witch's spirit still resides away in this cave. Visitors claim to have felt icy fingers brush against their skin, heard ghostly laughter, and witnessed shadowy figures lurking in the shadows. Well, witnessed shadowy figures lurking in the shadows, duh, that's redundant. Where else would shadowy creatures reside? The light? Number 2, Mammoth Cave. Coming up next is going to be the Mammoth Cave, located up in Kentucky. Mammoth Cave carries a dubious qualifier as it's thought to be the largest haunted cave in America. Now, this particular quote, I'm not sure if it's quantifiably the most haunted cave in America. I don't know what the unit of measurement for haunting is, but the data says it's the largest haunted cave. So per square inch, there's more ghosts than any other cave in America. Some 4,000 years ago, people mined deep inside the cave, and the cave would later be sold off to mine saltpeter. And if you know anything about saltpeter, and I bet you do, oh, then you know what a hot commodity that sweet saltpeter is come wartime. Oh, come wartime, after the War of 1812, saltpeter was the toy all the kids wanted under their stocking. And so the owners of the Mammoth Cave started draining it for all it had and hired slaves to work it. The owner of the cave, one Dr. Krogan, started cooking up bizarre schemes like turning the cave into a hospital, because nothing sounds more sanitary than surgery in a dark, musty cave where bats live. Dr. Krogan believed the cave would be the miracle cure for tuberculosis, and so he built several little patient huts. The consumptive colony was a complete failure. 2 of the patients died almost immediately, with the other 15 passing away and their condition worsening over time, with the doctor himself passing away in 1849. Now, because of this, locals believe the doctor and the ghosts of his patients are still trapped inside the cave. Rangers claim to have been shoved by unseen forces, or have been grabbed and touched in the darkness by people who can't be found. One particularly bold ranger claims that once, while on a tour near a formation called Sacrifice Rock, he saw an apparition of a man wearing a long-sleeved shirt, a slouch hat, looking in some old-time clothes, dressed like how an old slave trader would have. 3 different people claim that they saw the spirit, but the rangers assert that it might have just been a series of shadows. Or is that just a story to keep paranormal investigators away? Because it does sound pretty suspicious. Sounds like there's a mammoth of a story inside Mammoth Cave if you know where to look for it. At number 1, Hellhole Cave. Coming in at number 1 is going to be Hellhole Cave. Well, I mean, just listen to it. How could we not include this one? When I started researching a list of mysterious caves this morning and I discovered that there exists a cave named Hellhole Cave, I realized it would be downright improper if I included anything else at that number 1 spot. Hellhole, sometimes known as IXL Cave, is a cave in Santa Cruz's Wilder Ranch State Park. Well known for its claustrophobic tunnels and death-defying drops to abyssal oblivion, which force one to crawl on your belly. Have you ever crawled on your belly in a cave? Like a snake? That sounds slimy and horrific. Now, the main attraction of the Hellhole Cave is the equally terrifying named Hall of Faces. You guys gotta be kidding me with this. The Hellhole Cave, the Hall of the Faces, this sounds like a place you go to fight the hand of the king for the primordial crystal. But instead, the Hall of Faces is an area where spelunkers leave clay statues for others to find. Why is it called the Hall of Faces? Well, mostly because the clay statues being left behind are terrifying faces and snarling demon visages. It's quite the sight to greet you after a 90-foot descent, which is known as the Pit. Every single part of this cave is scary from top to bottom. Whoever named this place did not mince words. It's a hellhole. It's 47 degrees Fahrenheit and is the perfect home for approximately 20,000 squeaking, fluttering bats, Bruce Wayne's favorite. It's the winter home for half the world's population of big-eared bats. Sure, they may not be predatory or dangerous animals, and honestly they are kinda cute, but bats are also leathery little monsters with fangs and look like little demons, so being scared of 20,000 of them fluttering around in the dark is something I completely understand. So between sweltering temperatures, breakneck drops, terrifying clay faces, and more bats than anyone could conceivably see in one lifetime, it seems like the name is more than fitting, and that's one hellhole I'll choose to avoid. Well, my ghouls and goblins, that's about all she wrote for this one, eh? Thanks so much for watching, keep on creeping on, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Take it easy.